Boa noite a todos. Welcome back to Tom Plays EUIV Universalis 4 for absolute beginners. We're back with Portugal, and hopefully, I think this time, among other things, we're going to be building up our navy. Got this mission for having more equal heavy ships than 10. Military screen, we've got room for 26 more ships, so we're mostly going to be interested in heavy ships. Portugal traditionally has a strong navy, but because we're mostly in open seas, galleys aren't a lot of use. Could also do doing some exploration. Still kind of waiting for one of the generals to die, which is a bit mean. I could just fire them, but yeah, seems a bit excessive. What do we have? Oh, that's helpful. Shipbuilding time has increased. Not that it really matters. Wasn't particularly in a hurry. Okay. Got a bunch of stuff with mercenaries, and one of our colonies is finished, which is great. Mind getting this one in some ways, simply because it's more or less on a trade node. Still a little upset that Castile managed to catch the tell you what, let's go for it. Managed to get the Brazil trade node. So even though I do want to start off somewhere in Panama or one of the other places, seeing as the objective is to get Brazil to 10, I'm going to keep making colonies until we do that. Okay. Support the burghers, the better trade. Oh, right. Not immediately obvious why we wouldn't. Okay, let's support them. Some things have finished, that's fine. Right, let's look at possibly... Actually, we can't look at doing subsidies just yet. Just looking at the makeup of the armies here, thinking of... Okay, that's good. Thinking of maybe moving a cannon from the main army over to this one, just so that we can have all our colonial armies with the same makeup. 3-1-2. I think we can move the main army out of there, which would be good. Okay. Yeah, happily talking about building up the navy. Don't in fact have the money to do so. So let's not worry about that too much just yet. It looks like we can call another diet. So even though we're not drifting with money, let's give it a go. Okay, so the clergy want us to make a manufactory. That's very expensive. Not sure we can afford that. And the nobility wants us to attack Morocco, and not keen on that either. And the burghers want us to increase our commercial province in the Safi trade node, which again, not that easy to achieve, so actually the manufactory is probably a better option. Okay, I mean, we want to build manufactories at some point, so it's not a bad thing to build one. Okay, and the Counter-Reformation continues, so let's just keep it going. Just in order to do that, we're probably going to have to take some loans. Okay. Well, let's take a few. Let's take 3 loans, set us back considerably, but will hopefully allow us to build a manufactory here and fulfill that mission objective. It's not even the best place for a manufactory, but at the same time, it will give us some benefits. I think it makes it a better place. yeah, one base tax. So there are pluses, and as long as we're still making money, we will eventually pay our loans off. So not going to worry too much about that. Okay, brilliant. So what else? Not a huge amount we can do. I do want to get our army back to the mainland. So I really need to track our navy down, among other things. What exactly have I done with it? I think that's just traders. Yep. Well, these are just traders as well. Yes, they are. Fascinating. I've managed to mislay our navy. Good to see we've got so many traders knocking around at least. Right, so I'm looking for 16 ships somewhere. Presumably in a port. Oh dear. You're not paying attention? Not sure why we appear to have a trading ship in there. But anyway, right, let's try and extract the cannon. Send that over to join this army. Just want to make it 312 like the others. Oh, an uprising. 2 uprisings. Not to worry. Worth putting that down just before we weaken the army slightly temporarily. Till the cannon arrives. Okay. So I'm going to take 1 infantry out, send that to the main army. So you can actually land there for now. It can only take so many people anyway, so let's ship you back. Probably take you to North Africa rather than actual Portugal, because there's more likely to be issues there. I don't think Castile's planning to attack us anytime soon. Speed things up a little. So yeah, basically just getting back to the standard colonial nations again. Oh, how's our disputed succession meter going? Right, we haven't got anything highlighted. We could try to marry some of these people quickly. Although most of them early 40s as old as they get. So, don't worry too much. Right, so we've now got 3 standard colonial nations, colonial armies, which is good. And 1 main army, which we will hopefully ship around as needed, especially once we've improved the size of our navy a bit and it can carry a few more people in one go. Carry on with the counter-reformation. Let's deal with the funniest province. Actually getting to the end of it. How are we doing with this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yep, should be on the verge of Bohemia has become the Holy Roman Emperor. Nice. We should be on the verge of getting another merchant, which is good. Can always use the money. Just thinking, if we have the money to afford it, let's do some subsidising. Might actually push it up to 1. Going a bit far, but there's so many ways that Portuguese Brazil can expand. Okay, that's a very short-lived emperor. I'm just really hoping that with enough money they will actually start spreading out in all directions. And then we can go and worry about somewhere else. Which would be good. Okay, brilliant. What I'd really like to do is finishing up colonies up here that we can start, that we can actually move one of our colonists out of Africa. I don't know if it might be enough to have sort of cordoned off the coast, because in theory I don't think the African nations themselves tend to take exploration or expansion ideas. So these two provinces should in theory be safe. So once we've got these two, maybe head down here, or maybe here, possibly here instead, and then maybe we can actually move one of the colonists over to the Americas and start making more colonial nations, which would be nice. Okay, right, what else? What are our alliances? We've got one with Brittany, so let's improve relations with them. So I think I've done that for a while. Monopoly company formed. I would like a long-term investment. Yeah, I think that's still going to be better, even though there was quite a bit of money on offer there. Okay, we've got enough papal influence to have a stability. Don't have to go for that one, but we happen to be in the region, and stability is always useful. Gives a bunch of extra benefits, so that should increase our money still further, which is brilliant. Moroccan separatists. Okay, Haha, Garb, and Melilla. And Melilla. Right, well, let's give you the Conquistador that no one's using. Benign neglect. So this is a straight trade power versus tax modifier versus manpower modifier. I would generally say trade power. From now on, with us being a trading nation, right, there's actually a few places these uprisings might move down there though, simply because we've got a missionary working in Haha. But we do really need to bring our troops over. So rising is going to be 8k, we should be able to handle it. Oh, this is good. Maturu. Okay, Maturu. I'm guessing South America could be, yeah. Here we are. Problem is, it's not actually going to be ours. So even though there will be a gold mine there, it's going to belong to colonial Brazil. So I'm just going to have to hope that they administer it well and we get some good money from them. So it looks like France has integrated all the vassals, but they haven't managed to kick England out. England, on the other hand, has managed to take the whole of the British Isles, except for the Shetlands. Scotland's still just about hanging in there. Just about. I'm surprised they haven't converted into being Great Britain. Well, that should really be the United Kingdom, but there you go. So I'm probably going to say this every video, but Great Britain is this island here, as opposed to Little Britain, or Brittany, which is this bit. But yeah. Great Britain, British Isles, and the country is usually the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland these days. But there you go. At the moment they're still calling themselves England anyway. Okay, so we'll get the rest of the army over. Too late. Uprisings are coming anyway, but not to worry. We should have enough to deal with it. and at least we guessed the right province. I kind of figured the missionary might be irritating people. I can hopefully put this down before it increases separatism. I was quite pleased to see there are only 3 provinces that were likely to have this uprising, so hopefully this will stop being one of them. I wonder if they're the ones where they've increased separatism in the past. Or maybe the ones that haven't been converted. I think we've done all of them now. Maybe the others are still in progress. There we go. That's been put down, so I'm going to move the army back up to the castle for now. Okay, brilliant. Should be able to speed up for a bit. Finally lost a general. And we've got a self-sustaining colony down here. Brilliant. Right, we've gone as far as we can in this direction. So to follow the coast, we now need to go down here. Because again, I think if we can seal off the coast, we can maybe take things a little slower. But we should also be able to start exploring now. So we just consolidate the army, and I'm now going to employ an explorer. And you, my friend, are going to head down to our easternmost point in Africa. So we do need to core this province, because it's going to stay ours. We also need to send a missionary. More or less done now. Got pretty good religious unity. But yeah, I think I spoke too soon about working on the navy, because we have to ideally pay off our loans. On the plus side, it will give us a chance to... Oh, this is good. This will help us with our loans, so that's good. Should make them less of an issue. And we've got better construction costs and better absolutism. Yeah, we are quite ahead on diplomatic technology, but hopefully we will be able to start getting better ships before we build our navy up. So, not entirely a bad thing we're having to wait. So one of the problems with navies, I'm sure I've mentioned this, but you have to replace the ships manually. So while the armies automatically update themselves to the latest technology, the ships become obsolete in a big way. Yeah, this is where I was thinking of, with it being very aggressive. Well, not to worry, we'll handle that next. I mean, that's possibly a good thing anyway, because it means if anyone else wants to get in on South Africa now, they're going to have to go for one of the more aggressive provinces. So, definitely not complaining. Let's explore. Because we really need to know about these lands. I believe we want to get a presence in India. Which can be a little tricky, and I think we have to take a bunch of these lands over as well. So, quite a few of them are already occupied by empires. I think Kilwa is a big one up here. We're actually going to be fighting some wars now. Well, once we've finished colonising all the way up here, we'll get to the point where we can't colonise anymore. It's time to start with the wars. So we've got Madagascar here. The conversion. Oh, finished a colony, right. Karoo, excellent. Let's move along to Sierra Leone. Just finish these off. I swear we have ships here somewhere. Nope, they'll reappear. Let's call Karoo. And also send the missionary. Apparently we can do both, which is good. Wouldn't even let me build a marketplace somewhere we had a missionary before. But no, apparently we can now core it and send a missionary at the same time. Okay, I'm just going to be cautious. We are taking some damage. Maybe try and unearth this province just on the way back. This sea area, rather. Yeah, I don't think we're going to have much chance of getting peace with most of these nations. It might be worth us maybe looking at the likes of Congo if they're still quite big. I think they actually tend to be Christian, so we can get a royal marriage out of that as well. Wait for it to be uncovered. Right, you head back there and repair. It looks like we can actually colonise this. We will need a conquistador to uncover it. But that would be a really good place to colonise, I think. I'm not even sure if it isn't part of our mission tree. I don't know if we've fully uncovered it yet. Cape of Good Hope. Yeah, we need to get our navy size to the force limit before we can move on. Got a few places we need to own. But yeah, honestly, the more places we can own up here, the better. It'll probably help us fabricate claims as well. So even though we're probably getting ahead of ourselves because we need to improve our navy, definitely want to look at colonising up there. Anywhere we can. The islands, everywhere. Okay, brilliant. Okay, what next? Make alliances there. What about Congo? Maybe Congo might be a bad option, simply because it looks like there's another country here. So I wonder if Congo has been taken down, or at least severely reduced. Okay, I'm going to try and improve relations with Muscovy, Denmark. Thinking about possible future alliances. So we could even think about Burgundy potentially, although they might be breaking up soon. Imagine we're going to have the Netherlands on the scene before you know it. How's Brazil doing? Okay, well our colony's still going. You can see it's got gold. Are they doing anything? I can't see any obvious signs that they're doing anything, which is disappointing. Come on guys, get a move on. Got to compete with Spain. I can't do that without you. Well, not to worry. Let's heal the ships up and do some more exploring. That's pretty much the main thing we can actually do at the moment that's proactive. %90 there. 100%. Excellent. Right, let's see if we can get a bit further. Although there's something to be said for going around Madagascar as well. Just so we know our way around, but it certainly wouldn't hurt to cover off these areas. Okay, this colony is now self-sustaining. The question is, we do still have a conquistador. So can I head over to Panama? Panama has a trade node. I can, so let's send someone to Panama. So Panama is good from my point of view because there's a trade node actually living there, so we can start diverting trade to the Caribbean where we've got a very large presence, but also because you can actually start building ships. A little tricky because I don't think you can build ships once it becomes a colonial nation. So what we're going to have to do is, once we've done Panama, I think, actually depends what side the port's on. Panama Panama themselves might have a port on this side. I was thinking Darien definitely does. We'll see what side the port's on. I had a feeling Panama's was on the wrong side, but I think Darien, if we build ships, they'll actually appear in this sea here in the Gulf of Panama, which means we can start exploring to the west as well. So we should be able to fill in the world quite effectively. Okay, I don't think we've gained any new ships with that one. We do gain the brig, which I think is a replacement for the fleet with our next diplomatic technology. The only problem is, of course, we're massively ahead now in terms of diplomatic tech, so we may struggle to discover anything new. Anyway, can't be helped. Hopefully that army is making its way to Panama and we'll get killed on the way. In the meantime, we're just exploring up the coast. Need to be very careful. And we're just on the conversion and we don't have an alert, so I'm guessing there are no more conversions we can do. Oh, this is good. Colonist rush. So that should increase our colonies still faster. I think this is probably going to have to be the last province for now. I'm just going to head back once we've uncovered this one. I don't want to lose ships. Even though these ships are getting pretty old, so let's set them heading back. We'll send them back to Algoa Bay. What I might do is seriously think about grabbing the Conquistador and colonising this area, because it looks uncolonised. So that should allow us to explore much further, which would be great. Okay. So how are you doing? That's a bit unfortunate. The settlers are already there, so they could have an uprising, which would cause damage. Yep, let's repay the loan. Hang on, going too fast. Okay, we completed the estate building manufactory, so we have our first manufactory, which should help us. We want to repay the loan, want to repay the other loan, have to extend that one. Lost a vessel, so even with how cautious I thought I was being, we still went too far. And we're still losing ships. Looks like they've got back now though, which is good. Should be uncovering quite a few areas. Unfortunately, exploration on land does seem to take forever. So we're just going to have to ignore them and hope for the best. Governor, appoint him. We will get more settlers. Okay, let's leave them to it. Sweden would be really good people to have a royal marriage with right now. 58-year-old ruler with no heir. Unfortunately, they wouldn't be up for a royal marriage. Can't be helped, missed the opportunity, never mind. We'll just have to improve relations with them. Not to worry. So what do we have over here? 2 early carracks. Okay, well it's not terrible. I mean, it is terrible to be fair. Never mind. At least we can still do exploration. How close are we to finishing this colony? There's probably this colonial army that we will use to settle that area. So we're going to need at least 1 brig or 1 flute. Realistically, we're going to have to lump it and at least make a flute just so we can uncover that area. Let's make 3. At least get the colonial army there in not too much time. Just an advisor. Okay, the only one I'd really consider useful here would be the global tariffs guy. But that will depend greatly on our money. Sierra Leone is now trading in slaves, which does not make me feel proud. global tariffs is probably a better option. Have to speed up considerably. Oh, okay. Rich man's died. Now we can get a theologian who's probably too expensive, or we could get some money. Nonetheless, I'm going to go for that because it gives us 15 prestige. And 15 prestige is well worth having. So, yeah. Cotton production. Right, Caribus we've already taxed, so I'm going to leave that be. I'm actually thinking about this theologian. So there's a +3 that costs 6.8 monthly. I think we could afford that, even though in theory it's not that useful. I mean, it's good for national unrest, I suppose, less likely to have uprisings. But it's literally just a +3 admin power, especially because at the moment we're doing an administrative idea, so we could do with all the admin power we can grab. Really? Okay, so what does that leave us? 9.64. So we can still afford the global tariffs guy. Global tariffs I think still isn't amazing, but it will at least give us some money, whereas colonial range and morale of navies we honestly just don't need. Not about to have any massive naval battles, and our colonial range is fine. Hemia has become paper controller. I think we have decent relations with them. Okay. So that shouldn't be bad. We're still making money. We've got an option for advancement of religion. Missionary strength versus institution spread. I do think it's in character for Portugal, so I'm going to go for it, even though it's going to harm our institution spread, which I don't really like. I'm sure we can get around that. And at least it should keep our missionaries strong, even once we have finished the Counter-Reformation. Right, we can do some more exploring. So I'm going to head over to the north of Madagascar and try and go round it. Cheating slightly, of course, because the original Portuguese would not have known that Madagascar was an island. They might well have thought that it would just stretch towards the east. But hey, if that turned out to be the case, we could always just head back. Oh! It looks like we've discovered that area, so we no longer need a conquistador. However, we will still probably need an army. Yeah, they're quite aggressive actually. So we still needed those 3 fleets. Either way, got a new administrative idea. Mercenary recruitment, not that useful to us. If we ever decide we do need to recruit mercenaries, we'll be in a great position. I mean, this is partly my fault, because I'm not that keen on mercenaries. Whereas I know a lot of people swear by them, so we'll see. Got another island here, which might be worth us colonising, just because it brings us closer to India. I don't often favour islands, but I think on this occasion it might make sense. Yep, I think we just about made it back in time this time. Getting our diplomats back. So, Panama, yeah, I think the port is actually here. So if we build ships in Panama, they'll still end up in the Gulf of Darien and they'll be on the wrong side. It's basically very difficult to get here until the Panama Canal is built. But I'm pretty sure if we colonise Darien and some of the others. Certainly if we started colonising down here, the port would be in the Gulf of Panama, so while it's not a colonial nation, we should take advantage of that and build a navy in the Pacific, which can then do some exploration way ahead of time. And hopefully... Ooh! Galapagos. We might even be able to colonise the Galapagos Islands. That would definitely allow us to explore. Something to think about. Right, okay. So given that they're extremely aggressive over there... Oh no, too late. No option. We're just going to have to lump it with the free ships. So we'll have to move the army in 2 chunks. However, wouldn't necessarily hurt to give them a general or a conquistador, one of the two. Let's go conquistador, just because we never know when we might need them. I don't know if we actually need a general as such. I'm just being cautious because they look very aggressive, so I'm just thinking there's no reason we can't have a conquistador or a general of some kind, and if we can, we may as well have it here. So, going to send a colonist here, temporary break from mainland Africa, and we're going to move our troops over. Hopefully they'll arrive before the colony starts. I think this will be a big plus. I mean, it's for Portugal specifically. I think it's well worth having a colony here. I'm not even sure if it might not be a requirement to have a colony here at some point. But in any case, we're going to have to take a lot of the lands around it. So... I don't know if they'll be attacked as soon as they land. If they do, I hope they win. But they may not, because there's no colony yet, so hopefully we've got time to go back and get the other half of the army, and then they should be able to cope with any uprisings that islands can throw at us. We should be coring Algoa Bay. We should also be missionarising them. Cloth suppliers, that's unfortunate, we've lost some morale for our armies. Once we do this, I think we should look at diplomacy again. We've got some diplomats sat around doing nothing. Okay, land technology research useless. Don't want to lose 10 prestige. So I'm going to lose a military power instead. I don't like losing that either. Sometimes there are just no good options. Right, these ships need to head back to our land. So that colony should now be in progress and hopefully able to cope with anything the natives throw at it. That's good. Let us have a look at some... Well, I think we kind of missed out on Sweden. Actually, we haven't technically missed out yet. Distance between borders. Actually, that does make a difference. Burgundy. Burgundy, let's improve relations with them. Who's attacking France? Oh, Genoa. Interesting. Okay. Actually, let's improve with the Pope. As loyal Catholics, we can never be too much in the Pope's good books. think may wrap things up there. Actually, not go for more than an hour for a change. So if we just grab a papal blessing. So we had prestige. See, we are still gaining legitimacy every year. It almost makes me wonder if we should go for one of the money-related ones, or possibly even diplomatic reputation, because that's always a good thing. Still, I mean, this could definitely be higher, and it does give us an awful lot of bonuses. Yeah, let's go for legitimacy. So grant indulgence for sins, so that should start this increasing even faster. And I think it'll just make things better overall. So brilliant, started the colony in Panama. Desperately hoping the Portuguese Brazil are going to get their act together and start colonising. So that is what I gave them all those subsidies for. But at the end of the day, yeah, see, this colony hasn't even finished yet, which is why we haven't got yet got to the extra merchant that I was expecting. If I'd known they were going to be this slow, I might have carried on with the colony myself. But at the same time, we can always go back to that. It should also fulfill that mission, the Brazilian dominance one, which needs us to have 10 provinces. But I do think it's worth getting a colonial nation here, and we can... Honestly, I'm actually thinking... Galapagos. Uninhabited, so I might actually send the colonists there next, because I don't think we need to even uncover this land, so that should put us in a very good position for looking at Australia. Should be good, but no one's actually here yet, so I would love to have a colonial nation working here. It just seems too good a chance to pass up, given that we've somehow uncovered the Galapagos and somehow don't need a conquistador or an army to take it, so I think we'll definitely send someone there next time. But yeah, apart from that, just carrying on work on Africa. Nothing too dramatic that time, but still making progress, which is good, and hopefully we can get these loans paid off. Okay, brilliant. Let's leave it there. Might call another diet. Comoros. Oh, that's probably the new island, isn't it? Yeah. Wherever it is, they're clearly well enough defended. Yeah, that's what we call this place in the Mozambique channel. We call it Comoros. So, brilliant. Let's leave it there, and yeah, slow and steady progress. Nothing too dramatic. And I shall see you next time. Thanks for watching.